6, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Acting Minister of Energy and Resources. Is she satisfied that prices charged to New Zealand consumers for electricity are fair and properly constrained by adequate competition?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Yes.
The Honourable David Parker.
Has the Minister been advised, either formally or informally, whether the Electricity Authority will overturn the extra $57 million charged by Genesis Energy for electricity over a mere 7-hour period on the 25th, 26th of March? And if so, what is that decision?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, the establishment of the Electricity Authority, an excellent part of the electricity review that this government undertook, established it as independent, and so I am awaiting its report.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable David Parker.
My question was whether she had been advised, formally or informally, whether the authority will overturn that decision, and she has not addressed that question.
Well, I presume she did, because she said she's waiting for their report. And the impression she's given the House there is she hasn't been advised. Is this a point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard?
Well, I think it is the same point of order, sir. And I think we listened and we heard different things. Because what I heard was that the Minister was not going to release it publicly, which she has the right to say, if she is aware.
No, I don't think we need to take this further. The Minister said she was waiting for their report, their advice, in other words. And the member has further supplementaries to... Well, the member has further supplementaries. If the member wants to pursue the issue about informal advice, there's further supplementaries to pursue that. The Honourable David Parker.
Has the Minister been advised whether the Electricity Authority will overturn the extra charging by Genesis?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, I have been advised by the Electricity Authority that they are imminently to deliver their independent report on this matter.
Point of order.
Point of order, the Honourable David Parker.
The Minister did not answer the question, sir, and it was a very straight question. Has she been advised? She can say, yes, I was advised, but I'm not going to release it. But she hasn't told us whether she has been advised.
She said that she's been advised the report is about to come out. The member, can pursue that still further, though. It's not hard to think of a question to test that further. The Honourable David Parker.
Did the Minister meet with the head of the Electricity Authority, Brent Clayton, at Parliament yesterday?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Yes, in my normal monthly meeting.
The Honourable David Parker.
Does the Minister expect Parliament to believe that she did not learn from Mr Clayton yesterday as to whether Genesis is going to be forced not to charge that additional $57 million?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Sorry, Mr Speaker, could I hear that question
Certainly,
again, please?
If the Honourable David Parker wouldn't mind repeating it,
Does the Minister expect Parliament to believe that during her discussions with Mr Clayton yesterday she didn't learn whether they're going to overturn the payment of the charges by Genesis Energy?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, I was advised by the Chair of the Independent Electricity Authority that they were imminently about to release their independent report on their investigation into this matter.
Point of order.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
I think now for the third time we have had answers about process and not substance. You'll note that my colleague has not asked the Minister to reveal the decision, but just whether she knows what the decision is. He's now asked that question 3 times, and on every occasion she's answered by saying the process is this, not whether or not she knows what the result of the process is.
I have some sympathy for the member's point of order. The only problem I have is the wording of that last question was, does she expect Parliament to believe something? Now, that's very much an opinion, and had that question been worded differently, I might have responded differently. But that wording, to my mind, gives the Minister some wriggle room, because whether or not the Minister expects Parliament to believe something is simply an opinion. The facts of the matter could still be pursued further, because there's still further supplementary questions available. Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Taking on board your rulings, sir, but I recall the member's first or possibly second supplementary, twice, which was a very straight question, has she been advised? Which is the question you said this member should have asked. He asked it 2 questions before, and you allowed the minister to dodge it. I think there's an issue of consistency, sir. You can't have it both ways. You can't.
Order. The minister answered the question about the advice she had received. She told the House that she was told that the report was going to be released, obviously, very shortly. The members could have pursued that by asking specific questions about what she was actually told. Instead of that, the member went on to ask questions about what she expected Parliament to believe. And I can't help members get answers they might wish they get. I've got to deal with the questions actually asked. And the first answer, I believe, was a legitimate answer. And there was an opportunity to pursue it with absolute precision. It's exactly the kind of situation that question time lends itself to ask really incisive questions. And it was thrown away with the question, does she expect Parliament to believe? That is not an incisive question. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor.
Mr Speaker, and I think my request to you on this occasion will be to review the tape on this, as I know that you always do, and to look carefully at it, because I think we have different memories. My memory is that in between those 2 questions, the member did exactly as you suggested that he should, and when that was taken up by a point of order, you suggested that he ask yet another supplementary.
I'll certainly look at it, because I think it's a very fair point, because I do encourage tight questioning of ministers, and I want to try and ensure members are rewarded for asking tight questions. But I seem to recollect the question in between related to whether or not the minister met with the chairman of the authority, and the minister did answer and confirm she had. But I'll review the tapes. But I listened very carefully, and to me the disappointing question was the final one, asking a minister whether they expect Parliament to believe something. To me is not incisive questioning. A supplementary question, the Honourable David Parker.
I'll reread my first supplementary, Mr Speaker. Has the minister been advised, either formally or informally, whether the Electricity Authority will overturn the extra $57 million charged by Genesis Energy for electricity over a mere 7-hour period on 26 March this year?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, no.
The Honourable David Parker.
Why is the minister putting political objectives to limit the fallout from uncompetitive excessive prices totalling a massive $57 million on just one day ahead of the interest of New Zealanders who are paying excessive prices for their electricity? You say...
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, the report is yet to be released by the independent authority. Mr Speaker, the report is yet to be released into the public domain, so as to what is or isn't in it, no, that's not what I answered to your question.
We know how it works.
Question number 7, Catherine Delahunty.